Hey everyone! Finally! You know Murphy's Law, when something can go wrong, it will go wrong. Been preparing for this. One sec. Have been preparing for this live stream all day, and the moment I wanna go, my PC just froze and it does not want to respond. Alright, so I'm very happy you guys are here. I'm using my phone as a webcam and someone is calling me, so everything is going wrong at this in this exact second, but I'm very happy we're doing this. Welcome to the first live stream in a very long time. I'm very excited to do some stuff with you guys today. We have, if you remember, so let me share my screen. Can you guys hear me well, by the way? Type yes in chat or something. Tell me if there's any problem. And let's get started. So I'm gonna wait for you guys in the chat. Hi, yeah, it's working, awesome. Welcome everyone. This is awesome. Before we start, I wanna introduce you to Harun. He was supposed to be there, but still, he decided to go under the table. So, this is the boss. Say hi, boy. And entertain the guys by staying there. Yes? This is good. Okay guys, today we will continue working on our project in Berlin, if you remember it. If you remember this tutorial series on how to create large-scale exterior projects in Unreal Engine. There were like 4 videos. We will continue working where we stopped, and I will do my very best to answer all of your questions. So if you wanna ask anything, that's the main goal of today's stream. Answering your questions and just Unreal Engine and chill. Anti. Welcome everyone. I didn't expect like to have 20 viewers. Wow. Alright. If you wanna support the cause, check out our page on Gumroad. We have an Unreal Engine masterclass going on. It's in early access. We're also doing our very best to answer all of your questions there by making special videos for you. That's that. Again, if you're not with us on Discord, feel free to join us on Discord, because we're having so many chats about Unreal Engine, fixing problems, making things look good, and not Unreal Engine, like the same on 3ds Max or Blender. To stay up to date, you can share your work in progress with us, get some feedback, you can share your portfolio and your finished work, whether it's in Unreal Engine or not. Well, mainly Unreal Engine, but everyone is welcome, guys. More tea. Are you guys staying hydrated? Awesome. Let's get started. To give you, I'm trying to look at the chat. I'm very excited, really. It's a pleasure to have all of you. To give you a background about this project, this is a project we did last year in Berlin. We stopped it because of the pandemic, and now I think it's a great time to revisit some old projects and make them look good, teach you guys and learn from my old mistakes, and just get better in Unreal Engine. So the main goal of this project, this was supposed to be a massive building, like 140 apartments, 12 commercial stores, and the city of Berlin. If you are familiar with the Memorial to the Murdered Jews of Europe, in the video we mentioned, I counted these one by one. So we will learn how to just visualize and make things look good in Unreal Engine. Right now I'm using dynamic lights in my scene. There is really like nothing complicated going on. I only have the sun and sky that we can get from the lights here. I have some textures assigned on the facade and the streets, and the rest are 3D models, meshes we did in 3ds Max. So this is the building, and the city is in another Max file. We may revisit some of these files here. So yeah. Okay, first things first, I wanted to show you how we can sometimes steal some stuff. For example, I'm redoing this project and I would like to get a glass material. I already have another project opened that I'm going to steal stuff from. So let's open any map with a glass texture, or let's just search for glass. So this is a glass texture material here. Let's open it. There are multiple ways you can migrate assets from an Unreal Engine project to another Unreal Engine project. One of the ways, you can simply just right click on any mesh asset or on any asset, go to asset actions, click migrate. Or if it's really simple node like this, what you can do is just selecting all of these nodes, press Ctrl C, and if you open any text document, press Ctrl V, you can see this weird or like C++ code, I believe. It will copy to your clipboard, so just let's close this. Again, Ctrl C here. Let's go back to our main Unreal Engine project and go to where we have our materials, go to a folder called master. This is going to contain all of our master materials. Right click, material, and let's call this M master glass or glass master. Just double click it, and here is the fun part. If you press Ctrl V and wait for a few seconds, do you crash Unreal? Yeah, finally. It will just paste the code here for us, like the nodes basically. So we did not have to like even right click and migrate. The only thing we need to do is to just reconnect these again. So this is another way you can copy assets from your between your projects. I'm gonna ignore metallic, I'm gonna pipe roughness, I'm gonna pipe opacity, and I believe this goes to refraction, the slurp. So let's just pipe these guys and send this to refraction. Now you may wonder, what is the difference between this node and this node? Because here we have some things that are enabled, and here these guys are grayed out. It's because the material here, the blend mode, is set to opaque. So we need to change the blend mode from opaque to translucent. And as you can see, was it translucent? Wait. Yes, should be translucent. Yes. The blend mode will define the surface of our material. Like, is this an opaque texture or material? Like, is it plastic? Is it glass? What is this? Is this masked? The same for the shading model. So these two guys work together. Let's disable cast ray trace shadows and we should be good. I'm just interested why the roughness is disabled here and enabled here. So I guess it has to do with the lighting mode. So let's go and check. Yes. Changing the translucency settings from what it was, like volumetric non-directional, to surface translucency volume will make the material more expensive. So we can see how much instructions we get. 300 instructions. This makes your material much more expensive, so be careful with that. For now, I'm just gonna put it on volumetric non-directional. And now we'll click save. To assign this material here on all of our meshes or the glass materials, that can be done in multiple ways. So first things first, I'm going to create a material instance. I'm gonna call it mi material instance underscore glass, move it to this folder, instances, and now you can see some of the rail objects here are like static mesh actors and others are just actors. This is because the way we export our project from 3ds Max, many of these meshes here are instances, and this is why we see sometimes differences here. So if you go, for example, to the parent mesh and just assign the texture, the surface, it's going to be assigned on what can be hopefully these guys here, right? Another way, if we go to the datasmith scene actor, because if you remember guys, it's totally possible to export our project as one datasmith actor, like as one take, but that's not really recommended, especially for large scale projects. Whether you're using 3ds Max or Maya or Cinema 4D, you have layers, so you can utilize that. If you remember from the earlier tutorials, we exported these layers like almost one by one. The main reason for that, let's say now I want to assign this glass texture on every railing in this project. I can simply just go to Windows, Railings, and press Ctrl+Shift+D to select all the children under that. Press H, which is a shortcut I did, to isolate selection. If you have any questions about isolating selection, let me know in the comments here in the chat and I will show you how to do that. And now we can simply press Ctrl+Shift+A, select like one type of actor, then press Ctrl+Shift+A to select all these actors or like similar actors. In this case it's going to be a static mesh, and then if we're lucky, element 0 most of the times is the glass. I'm glad it's not element 1, for example, because this is supposed to be the, what do we call it? I forgot. Chat. This is new to me, okay? Remind me, what was the name of this? Anyway, we're good here. There are some problems sometimes, and as you've not, like, look with me guys, there is something super important. When exporting your project, especially your material IDs, back in 3ds Max here, so let's select all of these guys. For example, if you have a glass mesh, you should with, or like a mesh with multiple material IDs, you should stay, frame, thank you. Ahmad, Habibi, there are tutorials in Arabic too on the other channel, so don't worry my man. Our goal is to hopefully make the best architectural projects, architectural tutorials in Unreal Engine, so with you guys we can do that step by step. Going back to my topic here, you should stay consistent in your material IDs. So if you click here and get this material here, if there is any, let's see, for some reason we can't. Okay, for example, element 0, if it's the glass in your project, just make sure it's like across all of your project, element 0 is always glass. Because if it's not, what's going to happen when we select all of our meshes here, for example, especially in large projects, we're going to suffer. You don't want that. So like in this case, this frame here have element 0 as the, instead of metal, it's glass, and this is not good. So imagine like this project like this, and then manually going through all of these meshes and trying to look at for these guys, for these frames, and like, oh shit, I'm gonna return this to default and then assign the texture here. And what will happen now, I will select all of our meshes again, and now we can see element 0, like there are some weird stuff going, and element 1, there are also like, the glass material is on 2 elements. This is going to cause so much pain. So the best way to do this is just getting paper, pen, and like type element number 1 or element 0 is always glass, element number 1 is always metal, element number 3 is always wood, and like so on. That's one of the ways you can work around this. So now this is another problem here. I'm not gonna like assign, like make it painful for you guys finding all of these elements, but I remember the way the project set up. Some of these meshes have element 1 for the glass, for this type of windows, so we can do this, and element 0 is the metal frame, right? And these railings have element 0 because they're like one mesh as the glass. So just keep that in mind. Now I'm going back to 3ds Max and I'm gonna talk about these windows here. These windows or these meshes are instances. Why you want instances in your project? Every time you have an instance, it's like it will require less draw codes. So if you have like hundreds of unique objects that are rendered at the same time, you will get much less frames per second. So whenever you can have an instance of your object, of your mesh, go ahead and do that. It's going also to make your job easier. So for now, like these actors here, we know they are instances. So if you select one of them and press Ctrl B, usually Ctrl B would locate it in the project browser, but I guess that's only for the static meshes, not these poor actors. Alright. In this case, just select the instance in your word outliner. You guys can see, right? My picture is not affecting. Go to from the components here, select the mesh and then double click the static mesh, and you will see it's like in weird positioning. That's fine as long as it's in right positioning here. Before you assign your texture, you can just simply isolate, like this is the glass and this is the frame. So we can go back. You can click and drag your material. Sorry, let's do this. You can click and drag your material, or you can select it here from the content browser and just click assign on here, like this. Click save and you will see all the instances of this object will have the same material. So the same here. Press F, like for example when you open like your static mesh and you don't know where is it, if you press F it will frame selected and we can see our static mesh now. If you press isolate again to make sure that this is what we want, you can just assign this, click save, and we should be fine. Hey Zahi, there's this name I can't pronounce, sorry. Hangover, Bosco Studio, Ahmad, welcome everyone. Alright. This is only a metallic object, except for this part. There we go. The reason we don't see like you may wonder why we don't see the frame from here, but we see it from here. It's because this glass object here, to save on the performance, it's only one-sided. So like, yeah, it's just one face. Let me show you here in Max. If you isolate this mesh, It's one face, one polygon with no thickness. So we can also assign this. I have problems with my UVs here. We can simply now go back to Max, fix this, and then send it back. So we will do that later. We can add this out to our to-do list when it comes to large projects like this. Stanislav, did I pronounce your name correctly? Today's stream is going through our Berlin project and answering your questions. So we will try to make this as interactive as possible. And the other plan is to show you all of the mistakes I did for this project so you guys can avoid them in your projects. Because we grow and learn, guys. We grow and learn. I'm not gonna spend 5 hours assigning them with the glass material here. So just let's quickly assign so we can feel, so we make the building look nicer. You can also search by clicking here if you know the name of your material in the, when clicking on this little text part, you can also search for your materials and assign them. However, also be careful if you have like a large project with multiples of the same materials. In this case we don't have now. I will perhaps see if I can do that in a moment. You may have like 15 glass material. Always try to use the same glass material across all of your projects. So when you migrate it later, you don't have like hundreds of unique materials. This will also make the performance of the project harder to render if you have like multiple glass materials. Like I see this mistake starting with me. When I'm starting a new project, I like have 15 different materials or like of the same glass, let's say, and because when migrating from project to project, you know, and we want to real fast assign materials, just be careful on this. So now, for example, we know always we're going to choose this glass material that is saved in projects Berlin materials instances, the one we just made. Let me read. Yeah, I'm glad. Stanislav, it's a pleasure to meet you, Habibi. Let me read the next question. How do you determine the scale of the assets? How do you make them so accurate? You're using measuring tool. When starting an architectural project, let me see if I can open another version of this project, an older version, show you how I start with my projects inside 3ds Max. Oh, they are all saved to the cloud. Well, real quick, when we start a new project, we don't create it from scratch. So the customer or you will have CAD data that you import to your 3D software of choice, whether 3ds Max or anything else. Then you will arrange these plans and then you will model based on that. Keep in mind that every 1 centimeter in any 3D software, in our case here in Max, let's say, equals 1 unit in Unreal Engine. So let me just real quick show you something. Builds, Dropbox. I don't think I'm going to find this easily, can I? Berlin. Let's see if we're lucky. Nope. Actually, that we might have something there. Yes. So when you start a new project, like an architectural project, you should have like a reference to start from. If you don't have a reference, the least thing you can do is just making a box mesh with like 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter and then start on that. And in the industry there are standards, like 99% of the walls have a thickness of 20 centimeters. height of 3 meters and whatnot. Practice makes perfect, and the longer you spend reading plans and understanding your project, the less mistakes you're going to have. For example, in this project, it's accurate like to the millimeter, because we made all of it like from real architectural plans. There is like, I don't know, back then 50 or 40 plans for all the different elements. It would be much easier also if you can model your project inside Revit or AutoCAD, then send them to Max to just clean the mesh up, then to Unreal. And these days it's getting easy to clean the mesh in Unreal. I hope this answers your questions, my man. Another question. Curtains. Soon. Promise. Not with the RTX though, because right now I'm running all of this on a 1080 Ti. I don't have an RTX card, I'm waiting for it, so once I do have an RTX card, there is going to be a barrage of RTX tutorials. But I have multiple curtains tutorials on the way, on the list. Some of them are only for the CPU light mass, and the others are only for the GPU light mass and whatnot. Just stay tuned, and once they're alive, I will give you guys a sign on Discord. Continuing. Yeah, you guys understand what I mean. Where we at? Let's just select some more meshes and assign the glass texture. I'm glad this was informative, Hangover. I like your name, Hangover. Let's select this mesh, click assign. Nope. Search for our material. Let's click save. I think at this point our project looks good, not bad. What I like to do when I start new projects in Unreal Engine, guys, I like to take work in progress screenshots. Let me show you what I mean. You can do this in two ways. You can whether create a bookmark, and bookmarks using your keyboard, like numbers from 1 to 0. You can, so here's a shot we like, let's say. You go here to this arrow that's moving down, go to bookmarks, set a bookmark, and you have 10 bookmarks to choose from. 0, for example, this shot, and perhaps this shot. Harun, come here, boy, say hi. Oh, you actually came. Harun, wanna say hi? Good boy. Stay there, boy. This is another shot we like. I'm gonna, yeah, actually made it. And here's another shot, let's say. Go again here, click bookmarks, set bookmark, bookmark number 2. And now you can see from the active bookmarks we have 0, 1, and 2. If you click 0 on your keyboard, you will go to the first bookmark, 1 to the second, and 2 to the third. And then you can just press F9. You cannot see it, but here the engine tells you like it took a screenshot. So another F9, and it will save it to the saved folder in your project, screenshots. Let's do this, and it will give it a name. I like this way, but it's not my favorite. Let me show you my favorite way. Just let's reset things. My favorite way actually is just to create 2 or 3 cameras, no more than that, because like taking work in progress screenshots of multiple cameras is painful. We click on this arrow again, create camera here, cinematic camera actor. Click on perspective and let's switch to this camera. Give this camera a name. So whip, work in progress. So when you search for it here, you can easily find it. Let's say this camera. Click on high resolution screenshot. set it to 1 or 2. 1 is the scale of your screen, 2 is like multiplier by 2. And then this is a new option I think we have from Unreal 425 and above, is use date and timestamp as image name. It's 10 times better than using the image name like as screenshot 0, 1, 2, 3. Like in some scenarios like me, you will have perhaps 500 screenshots for some reason. So having the timestamps and date as image name is awesome. Click take screenshot, and if you go back to our folder, if you go back to our folder, you can see high resolution screenshot 2021, the time and the date. So this is way much better to take high resolution screenshots or work in progress screenshots with the date and the time as stamps. Thank you Epic for doing this for us. I don't want to show you the nightmare folders I have with like 400 screenshots. So having two cameras like this, let's make quickly another camera, for example from the top, because later we're going to import all of Berlin. So let's say this is a nice place to take a screenshot of our project. Go to this arrow again and create a cinematic camera. We can switch to it and let's set focal length. Let's also give it like work in progress underscore then the name of the camera, and let's give it a focal length of 18. Then let's create another high resolution screenshot. Can you guys see Haroon? He's being a cat. Boy. Sure. He's been sleeping all day. He decided to wake up just now. Let's delete this. And now we have two work in progress screenshots with the date and time as stamps. Let me read the chat real quick. This boy, Aragon, my man. Adding water in Unreal Engine, that's only in Unreal 426, I believe. I can't remember. I didn't cover this yet, but expect a video on this soon. Like, I have a list of 50 tutorials coming to the channel. We're like doing our very best to make more and more videos. Again, like, my dream, guys, is to make the best architectural tutorials in Unreal Engine that are interactive and just look good. This is why we focus on lighting too much these days. Stanislav, let me read your question here. I agree with you, like having realistic looking curtains is tricky. There are like few, actually there is a friend of mine, he made a Russian 3DV. I mentioned not here. If you watched our community spotlight earlier, so this is a Russian tutorial, but like by just looking at what he's doing you can learn. I'm going to post this tutorial in the description. Give me a second. It's your boy 3DV. It was this tutorial, curtains in Unreal Engine. This was a really good tutorial here. So there you go, my guys. Volodymyr, I hope I pronounced your name correctly too. So I hope you enjoy this one, guys. Yusuf, my pleasure. Awesome, guys. One more quick question. Could you recommend any external hard drives? Like, honestly, no. When it comes to hardware, I'm like 50% noob. I just, when I buy anything, I look at the reviews online. If people like say yes, I just go for it. So that's what I recommend doing. Also hangover. Just don't buy stuff when you're actually in hangover. Justin, I made a swimming pool 3 years ago. The caustics were faked, like with a light function. That's coming to our masterclass, and I will make like a mini tutorial on this. The pool I made, it was... I will try to focus here, but I promise to... Actually, just let me add it. Good stuff, guys. What other questions you have? Please go ahead. I love these requests. So, curtains... pool / caustics. Not caustics from Apex Legend. I hate that guy. So I'm gonna also add like ocean. You got it, my man. Justin. I got you, homie. Alright, guys. Hey, thank you. Then that's coming to the masterclass very soon. I really appreciate your support, guys. I'm very happy like we're doing this. I've been procrastinating the live stream for so long now. I like I'm very happy, guys. Marios, hello. Okay, let's continue where we at here today. I'm just gonna assign or deassign glass texture. So let's go like this. Should be good. The same here. Should also be good. Yeah, let's call it a day. Enough class. Let's see what else we can do. You can switch between view modes. In our case now, it's kind of hard to see the project, let's say, or like in any case, when you want to build light or your performance is super bad, you can, by pressing Alt and then on the numbers on your keyboard, you can switch between view modes. Unlit is a great view mode to see what have textures and what not. Okay? Hadi, hello. Everyone here, you are Habibi. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, everyone. So Unlit will just help us really like see what's up with our scene and help us assign more textures. Speaking of textures, like 90% of these textures are from Quixel Bridge. If you don't know Quixel, Quixel basically is the largest scans library, and you can use all of the assets they give you for free, especially in Unreal Engine. Well, mainly for Unreal Engine. I think for other softwares you need to like pay really cheap, like they're not expensive at all. So you sign in with your Epic account. Let's go ahead and do that. You go to products and you can download the bridge and the mixer. And the bridge in this example is a bridge. It's going to... You have a library here of like 14,000 assets, 15,000 assets that you can use completely for free in your Unreal Engine projects. So in our case now, I think we need something to assign on the ceilings of the building we have. So we can start by searching for surface, and then let's see if we type artifice, do we get stuff? We're getting stuff. Let's see if we type ceiling. Not this ceiling. Let's go to collections. Another way to search, if you go here to collections, then click Archviz, then go to surface, and you would see like a collection of like curtailed assets or surfaces that are selected for you. For example, marble tiles and whatnot. So ceilings here, can we find any? Yeah, let's just use modern stucco. Perhaps this stucco facade. If you press here, you can like enlarge it, make it big. Click download. Let me see the chat. Justin, thank you. I like these skulls. Let's go. Oof, don't use that. Everything costs too much at performance. Yeah, it's tricky to get. It's not tricky and tricky. Like, you need to know what you're doing when it comes to performance. One of the best tutorials out there to what is the word? Debug, let's say, or like analyze your performance is your boy TechArt8. For some reason he did not upload in a very long time, but this is the best channel on performance videos. He have like this little series measuring performance. It's multiple tutorials. This helped me so much improving the performance on my projects back in the old days. So here's a link for you guys. Well, I'm very excited you're enjoying this live stream, guys. Many more to come on weekly basis, honestly. Like, if I don't stream, my guys are going from VR Division, the rest of the team, like they will bully me to just stream more often. And we will also have on Discord, I believe tomorrow we have a session. We didn't decide what time yet, but we will be doing free sessions for beginners in Unreal Engine. So join us on Discord, and I will give you a form, guys, you can sign up with. So let's just find that form. It should be this one. Yes. And I will email you when we're going to do this, and I will also let you know through the community here, like more interactive sessions that we can do together. You can ask questions live, like, you know, using your mic, and we just do more Unreal Engine stuff. So we will like have variants of these live streams and training sessions. I'm very excited. Yahya is a metalhead. Yeah, I grew up listening to death metal, and now I listen to 21 Savage for some reason. I just listen to everything. So, quick questions. Any reason why sometimes I try to build reflection props, it does not work? Tony, I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question. If you can share screenshots on Discord, or like write more about the problem in Discord, there's me, there's the team on VR Division, and there's the whole community who can help you. Yes, I agree with you. Bomb back lack. Yusuf, my biggest issue is light leaks from the walls. Still, I didn't find a great way to fix it. Creating a box bigger than the scene, reverse normals in Unreal. Light leaks used to be one of the biggest problems. It's mainly has to do with two things. It's how you do the 3D modeling, and how you export your mesh, and is it connected to other meshes, like how you do that. I'm gonna show you an example here, and it has to do with the light map resolution, and of course the bake settings. For example, when you do have, let's see if I can show you here. So you've noticed here, the first thing, I have the roof, for example, separated into two parts. Part that is for the outside, which is this guy here, and we have the faces that like going up. This is part, and if you look from this side, like these are the faces. I'm gonna show you here. this is one face here, guys. This ceiling here is divided into two segments, two groups. The outside group that get hit by the sun, right? Which is this, for example. And if you look, there is nothing here. And there is another ceiling below it that is also separated from it and on much smaller scale. It's set only to this room here, right? This will somehow, for example, prevent light leaks. It depends, like it's much more complicated than this, but you need to strategically detach your meshes, let's say. So, for example, it would be bad to have, let's just real quick do this. It would be bad to have something like this. Like this is the wall and the ceiling. The best way, like, to avoid light leaks is to separate the ceilings from the walls, and separating walls also from other walls. This also depends on how much budget you have in your project. You can't go crazy and like separate everything, because this is also going to massively increase the size of your project, because every separated project object has its own light maps, right? And this might like exponentially increase the scale and the size of your project and the performance and the budget. So start small, show us some stuff on Discord, and we can solve the light leaks slowly. It's no problem really. And fixing light leaks, it's way much easier to work with the GPU light mask, whether it's Lushuang GPU light mask or the new GPU light mask in Unreal 426. It's just super easy to render Archviz project the GPU light mask, and like 10 times faster. The CPU light mask is painful when it comes to Archviz projects, but sometimes you may need to use it, and this comes to the word settings and the light mask settings if you're using the CPU light mask. So just don't do this. Have your meshes separated strategically. I don't even know what that means strategically, but like practice makes perfect. Let me read the rest of the questions here, guys. I hope this helps you, Yusuf. If you still have like any problems with the light leaks, you can ask here or you can show us on Discord. And I'm going to just, let me do this, guys. Edit invite link, never expire. Let's just do this and pin message. Now you can join us on Discord. I pinned the message in the chat for you. Ah, there is two. Ah, actually the team is here. Thank you, guys. This is good. Okay. Justin. Dynamic lighting. It's also on the list for the masterclass. Once we start with the exterior project, we will have two types of that. One completely dynamic and the other is just completely static. And also there is a surprise when it comes like to smaller scenes and product configurators, but like it's a surprise, okay? It's also on the masterclass. But let me also, not to forget, like I love these requests because it tells me, or it tells us, what to focus on. So dynamic, taking notes / surprise. You guys hear music in the background, right? Is it good? Is it loud? Or just let me know. Sweet, but that means you get double amount of throw calls or triple. Yes, when it comes to separating your meshes like this, you need to be careful, right? So like there is always a sweet spot, and you need to, like to know what you're doing, and this is why you need to know like your budget of the project and what is the goal of this project. Because let's say if you are creating a project for virtual reality, and this one was for virtual reality by the way, eventually is like we're gonna do it, I promise, for the VR. So I will show you everything you need to know on optimizing projects. It's not the same when you do the project, for example, if it's only animation or just for PC or pixel streaming. So like it's a good idea before working on the project is to decide, alright, what is this project about? What is the goal? And this is like really important. You ask your customer like what they are hoping to achieve from this project, who is going to experience this project, who's going to see it, because this just gives you information about how we can work with this project, right? Budget is something we all hate when it comes to the performance, but it is what it is. Hopefully with Unreal Engine 5 we won't have to worry about this stuff. Let me read more questions. Yusuf, you can give it two-side material. Two-side material, it's not, again, it's the same what I said before. You need to know why you're creating the project. I rarely enable two-sided material, but it's not a bad idea. It's my pleasure, guys. Yes. In the enterprise industry, the reason like sometimes you can see like, yes, we go crazy like this, because I also, like not also, we like our customer, like the owners of this project have had like a computer that is designed to run massive projects, right? So like this is one of the nice things about the enterprise industry. You would expect your customer, for example, to have like a powerful computer. And like 5 years ago, when I very first started one of the services I used to provide, like, hey, I can design you this project and I can build you a computer, right? So it's a good business module, like because think about this project. This project cost millions, and like you're doing this visualization to help these guys sell this project, and like a computer, like really like super computer would cost nothing compared to this project and what they can make out of it, right? So you won't expect them to run this on like a cheap laptop or I don't know, or like bad computer. So yeah, there is like, it's not always the same. Like yes, sometimes there is a customer that have the cheap laptop, but in this case pixel streaming is one of the solutions, right? Next idea. Yeah, performance. I'm trying, I wanted to say a bad word, but I'm not gonna say that. The music is perfect. Thank you, Harris Hiller. Yes. Marios. I have a question. How do you do the lighting in interior spaces without directional lights? I have noticed there is big difference with the GI from lights sources and only lights, point lights, etc. Well, when it comes to interior projects, let's say you have a project that is enclosed space, right? That there is no sun. You would just place your lights as you normally do. So you have spotlights, you would place spotlights. You have area lights, you would like place area lights. So let's see if there is a good example. Like in malls, I don't know, can I think of a good example? After, like, when it comes to lighting, you need to place your lights in your project as you expect them to be in real life, giving the correct intensity, the correct temperature, the correct fall off, and like this stuff is crucial for to get the accurate physically accurate lighting, right? There is an article I remember about this. I'm gonna try. I will add this to the list. It's just easier. So create interior lighting with no sun. Is that correct? Once you place your lights just like you expect them to be in real life, like whether spotlights, area lights, and like all kinds of lights, GPU light mass is much better when it comes to achieve realistic rendering, especially in Unreal 426. In Unreal 426, though it's unfortunately still in beta, once you place that, it will just look natural once you build the light, or if you have ray tracing enabled. Do I have any other tips on this? I'm just going to create a tutorial on lighting interiors with no sunlight. A good example we can do, actually there is this tutorial guys coming soon, which is I hope Unreal does not go crazy here. No, not this. Is it this? This scene, I'm going to delete the sun and show you how we can do like night scenario. And let me close this because oh shit, I opened the ray tracing mode. Okay, let's go this. We have some areas here that we can also do the same for you, Marios. But just make sure you place your lights correctly and everything will be fine. And the GPU light mass. Sai Gangdahar, did I pronounce your name correctly? Welcome, you did not miss anything. We just started. It's a pleasure to have you guys. What is the best way, in your opinion, when it comes to lighting? Promise to make a tutorial on this. I'm gonna try to focus here on your questions. I would use level stream for interior. Level stream is not a bad idea. Can you tell more in general about pixel streaming? Stanislav. Last year, like due to the pandemic, pixel streaming like is one of the things that started booming, really, and it's just going to get better and better. So if you can start learning pixel streaming now, I highly recommend doing this because it's just so convenient when you can stream such a project on any device anywhere, as long as you have a good internet connection or your customer have that. And especially when you want to deliver your project to, let's say, hundreds of thousands of people who want to try it, and like not everyone have a high-end computer, right? When it comes to pixel streaming, there is the guys from Furious, like Furious. This is a like very easy entrance to get into it, like super cheap subscription. There is Pure Web, if like for enterprise solutions. These guys, and there is a guy who were making tutorials on pixel streaming, like super basic tutorials. He's Italian, great guy, Nazarino. Here's a subscribe, who's also doing like tutorials on this. So here's also a link. Pixel streaming is just a must. I think the future of like deploying Unreal Engine projects, especially in the industry here, is gonna be pixel streaming. We had customers who wanted to create virtual stores to sell their products, like similar to, like, let's say a furniture store or a clothing store. So that was also done with pixel streaming. More on that soon, but I highly recommend that you guys learn more about pixel streaming, and I have that planned for future as well, like teaching you how to do pixel streaming and just stream the hell out of your projects, show it to everyone. Octave Schlumberger. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Heyo, welcome everyone. My day is going great, Sai. Thank you. How's your day, guys? How's your day, Sai? Let me read more chat. Have you ever tried point cloud in Unreal? Not yet. I tried point cloud stuff with my my phone and reality capture, but that's a great suggestion right here. I'm gonna take a note. I was always curious about point clouds in Unreal. If you have any questions, feel free to ask on Discord and I will gladly help, and the community too. No, pixel streaming, once you create your project and then put it on the servers. So in this scenario here, I think it's limited to one user or something. I don't know. If you wanna have it to hundreds of thousands of users, you need whether to use something like Pure Web or Furious, like the enterprise plan, or have a cloud architect who can build that for you, right? And that's the beauty of pixel streaming. There is no limit of how many people can be in the use the, we call it instance. So in Amazon servers, there is virtual machines, and every one user will have their own virtual machine, and you will pay for minute, I think. Yes, I think for minute. What else? But no, it's not limited for one user. That's the beauty of it. More questions? Yes, as the VR division, I think Aragon, if you need to stream a project, we can introduce you to the guys at Pure Web. They're amazing people. We know the people there, and we can make introduction with pleasure, of course. Sai, my man, I have a question for the tessellation. Does mesh require subdivisions because I use SketchUp, and when I apply the bridge materials, it does not work for displacement? Yes. In one of Quixel live streams, he spoke about this and gave you very good example. Unfortunately, I know exactly what you mean when even in architecture here, I will show you actually a good example. The Berlin, when you have 3ds Max, yes, you will notice that all the streets I have here in the project are tessellated for two things, for displacement and what do we call it, vertex painting. You cannot tessellate a mesh that has one face. You need to give it some subdivisions, show it some love, as they say, if it does not look right, give it more polygons, something like that. It's not don't take my words on it. Look here, this is a street that could have only much less subdivisions, but the reason it has subdivisions is because I'm going to tessellate these meshes later and do some vertex painting. Vertex painting is when you draw your texture on the mesh, so you can have variance. For example, if you look from the top, you can, I don't know if you guys can see it, but you can see the texture repetition, right? And vertex painting is one of the ways we can hide this by painting multiple textures on our project. So if there is a way to add tessellation for SketchUp models, I would let you know. So I'm gonna take another note. SketchUp. I think what would be easiest to your projects that are made in SketchUp is to send it first to Blender, give some tessellations, even UVs, then send it to Unreal. Yes, it's totally possible to send your SketchUp projects to Unreal Engine, with the datasmith exporter. But if you want to take your projects to the next level, to achieve higher level of realism and make them look good, I think you need to do some manual processing and just show them some love in Blender. I have a question. Let me read more questions. It's my pleasure, guys. My pleasure, Stanislav. When I use pixel streaming, there's only one end user. I wish I could help you more, Octave, but one person you can contact, I believe, I'm not sure if he's still doing the tutorials on pixel streaming yet, the Nazaro, but I think he can help you, or you can use, like, if you want like the easy way to do it, Furious, like they're pretty not expensive to start with, and like do some experimentations. Like doing pixel streaming manually, I wish I know how to do it, but it takes like different type of experience. But it's on the R&D list. Oh shit, I almost spilled my tea. Thank you, I'm glad you like the music. Ronnie, my man, I just love your job. Thanks for helping the community. My pleasure. Thank you guys for being here. And thank you for helping us. Like, we won't exist if it was not for the community. For you guys. Really. Literally. Do you think pixel streaming can work with VR? 2 months ago I was attending one of like epic presentations on the technology and stuff. At some point in future, like once we get to the 5G or like 6G, I think we're going to have like very light VR headsets, and they will like be connected to the internet. Perhaps Elon Musk is trying to do that for us. But I believe at some point in future, yes, that's totally possible. It might like sound sci-fi-ish now, but I guess once we have like faster internet connections, we might have that. Because the problem, like for the VR headsets, you need like minimum of 90 frames per second so you can like have a good experience. And with pixel streaming now, I guess it's limited to 30 frames per second or that. And like with bad internet connections, you're going to get like dizzy, right? So not now, but perhaps in future, we might have pixel streaming like Ready Player One kind of stuff for VR. I hope so. Not dystopian stuff though. Kaiko Kila 13. Yeah, excellent content, man. Well, thank you. Very much enjoy watching your tutorials. Are you Persian? You sound like you have Persian accent. No, I'm from Aleppo, from Syria. Habibi. I left Syria like 10 years ago, and yeah, my accent is like a mix of many accents. But I have many Persian friends. I have like so many friends. I love you people. What about creating different kinds of animated clouds? Cumulus, Ceros, EDC, do you know how to do that? No, not at the moment, Justin, but here's my notebook and here's my pen. Clouds. I was experimenting with clouds like on the basic level on Unreal Engine 426. It's really amazing how like out of the box, if you go to place actors and just click and drag and have clouds. Right now I'm using 425 because I'm using the GPU Lightmass. It's much more stable on large scale projects like this. But clouds tutorial, that is coming soon. Promise. So many tutorials coming soon. Nice. Yes. Octave, if you... Actually, there is a guy from our community. Just contact me, Octave, on Discord. There is a guy on our community who was looking for someone to experiment with pixel streaming with, and I would connect you guys together, and like perhaps you can help each other. I'll be more than happy to do that. So join us on Discord. not to be pushy, but join us on Discord. It's a great community. You guys make it great. I'm reading chat still. Thank you, Octave. Yes. The Unreal Engine 426, the only problem I had with so far is the GPU light mass. I'm just getting sometimes inconsistent results. However, that's completely natural because it's still in beta. It's not production ready, right? So just be careful when you want to update your project. However, we're hoping like for Unreal 427 or 428, it's just getting better. And the same guy like Lu Shuang, Epic hired him to develop and implement the GPU light mask officially in Unreal Engine. So just expect for it to get better and better with time, right? Like as they say, good things need their time, right? Okay, continuing. I have a problem pronouncing this word. Continue, you know what I mean. Where we at? We opened Quixel Bridge. If you don't have it, you have like access to 14,000, 15,000 assets that you can use for free in your Unreal Engine project. Just make sure when you first start it, when the settings, you need to choose the library path and you need to manage plugins and install the Unreal Engine plugin. Like super easy process. From the export settings, you would set the engine version. In our case now it's 425. You would locate your engine and then you would have a button here to install the folder. Once you do that, when you download any asset and when you see this blue check mark, it means like you own and you have this asset downloaded on your PC. When it's green, it means you just own this asset, and it is not on your PC. I like to start with 2K textures, like don't go 4K or 8K like from the very beginning, because just 2K would save you time downloading, exporting, experimenting, seeing what's nice, what's not. So always work with 2K. I also wish we had like 1K, but it is what it is. Once you download the surface or asset you want, if you just simply click export, it will export to your project. Sometimes when you have multiple Unreal Engine projects opened, I think the last one or the first one you opened, it would export to. If, for example, in my case here, I have like 2 projects, lucky me, it just exported here directly, not to this guy. If it exported here, the only workaround I know is just closing this project and keeping one project open. Yes, you got it, Sai. That's already in the list. Now, easy peasy, if we, like one of the benefits of having your project organized, if you just, like in our case here, if we search for ceiling, we would simply like almost select every ceiling in our project. Not in this case. I pressed Ctrl+Shift-D to select all the children, but search ceiling here and then just do this. And in 10 seconds we selected all the ceilings in the project. We can just simply assign the texture like this, and we have more ceilings that we can assign the texture to. So that's one of the benefits of organizing and naming your projects properly. It would be just super easy to assign textures or select stuff. So in like literally less than 20 seconds. We selected every ceiling in our project, gave them one material, and we are confident that we will not have any mistakes, hopefully. The next thing I would like to do, like 90% of the assets we get from Bridge, if you look here, like it says 2 by 2. This means like this texture is 2 meters by 2 meters. And the project, like I'm used, like our workflow, we give every single mesh in the project a UVW mapping of 1 by 1 meters, right? So let me show you what I mean. Let's select this guy. So looking here at my grid, at the word grid, like I know from here to here is 1 square meter, like 1 meter and 1 meter, right? So to have this texture assigned correctly on our surface here, for example the ceilings, right? You need to double click it, then go to the global in the parameter groups, go to the tiling offset, and then set the tiling on the X and Y to half the value, which is 0.5 by 0.5. It looks stretched here, but now here this is like the accurate scale of our texture on the surface in our project here. Okay. Can you repeat one more time, please? How did you select ceilings like that? I will show you quick tricks I do in Unreal to make my life easy. So, assuming our project is organized and we exported our project in multiple datasmith exports, if you remember from our previous tutorials here, like this one. Let me give you the playlist actually for that. By the way, guys, if you go to the playlist, you can see like playlists. So let me first post this. You would select your datasmith actor like this, and a default shortcut, if you just right click on your actor and go to select, you would have select immediate children, which is Ctrl Alt D, or select all descendants. I don't know if you can see it, guys, just let me do this. So right click, select these two guys, and you can see the shortcuts. So Ctrl Shift D, let's just, yes, would select all the children under this datasmith actor, and in this case it's just called 7OG roof. Now I have a custom shortcut, if like it's H, and to set custom shortcuts I have also another tutorial I'm gonna post for you later. Basically you can set your own shortcuts. So anything you see here like word settings, plugins that does not have a shortcut, if we go to edit and editor preferences, then to the keyboard shortcuts, and just search for what you want to search here. In our case, like isolating meshes like this. In 3ds Max we're used like to select this building, press Alt Q and isolate it. Like you guys familiar, like it would be so much easier to work on this building by seeing only this building, other than like working on this building and have like a whole city around us. So the same for Unreal Engine, but it does not have a shortcut. However, if we right click any asset, there is something called visibility, show only selected, right? So once we go to our editor preferences and in the select the keyboard shortcuts, in the search details show only selected, you can set a shortcut. The same for anything here, like Ctrl Shift D and whatnot. Quickie, like plugins. Can we have a shortcut for the plugins? Well, it seems that we cannot assign a shortcut for everything. Perhaps not these guys, or we could, but we need to search for it. So something else like group, Ctrl G, group, regroup, and like this good stuff. So editor preferences, keyboard shortcuts, this is one of the best hidden, let's say, like things we don't usually look at inside Unreal Engine. It would just make your workflow so much easier, setting your own shortcuts and like changing the defaults. Always change the defaults, guys. Always. I spilled my tea. Fuck. Aragon here, I said the F-bomb. You don't have to see this, guys. Now I need to wash my Unreal Engine t-shirt. Shit happens. I'm glad it's not hot, or you see me like jumping, you know. Now I'm gonna put my water here so I can spill it. Stay away. Let me open the chat again. Yes, did this answer your question about selecting meshes inside Unreal? Let me clean the table. Easy peasy, guys. I'm so lucky. Okay. Make one good master material. Yeah, things are going well. If you have any questions, guys, just write them here in the chat. We will finish soon, so this is a great time to ask anything that you have in mind, because I need to go to the bathroom. And I need to make more tea now. It's my pleasure, Duran. I'm glad. Okay. I usually assign a white material like this on every single mesh, like this, to have, once I build the light, it would look really nice, like this project. So the ultimate goal, guys, of this project, like once I'm going to work on this project only during live streams or only during recording, so I'm not gonna work behind your back, I'm gonna record everything, is to make it look like something like this. There is a cinematic here. We're basically going to achieve a similar result that is actually better with this project. So make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications and all that good stuff. And interior, exterior, it's a complete project. Help me in lighting, please. Gurav, my man, you got it. Yesterday we uploaded a new lighting tutorial that you can see on the channel, and there are many more tutorials coming soon. So if you're facing any problems, join us on Discord, show us your problems, all of you guys, and we will be more than happy to help you with lighting and everything. So the white material will give you that effect I just showed you. Okay, what else? What else do we have time for? This is a nice project. I think we should stop soon. Don't want to say any bad words. Yes, let's wrap up then. In the upcoming tutorials I'm going to show you like how to do vertex painting, displacement, more lighting stuff when it comes to lighting such big projects, and we might even like need to optimize this guy a little. Actually, one last thing. So now you can see this annoying lens flare. To get rid of this, we need to add a post-process volume. So to do that, just go to place actors, visual effects, and search for the post-process volume here. Just click and drag. There you go. Before you do anything with this post-process volume, first we need to tell it, hey, just make this everywhere. For now it works if we are inside it. So I'm gonna show you an example. I'm gonna set the lens flare here to 0, which is like this lens flare, but as you've noticed, nothing happened because we need to go inside the post-process. Now the lens flare is gone, right? And this is a great way actually to have like multiple post-process volumes in your project when you have like exterior, interior. So in this case, for example, later once we finish, we're going to go inside and then take the elevator. It's empty now, and then like go up, right? So you simply need like 2 different post-process volumes, one for the inside and one for the outside, unless you're fine with like the auto exposure, like, you know, the auto exposure. So clicking on this post-process volume here, you need to go all the way down. Then in the post-process volume settings, you need to check infinite extent and bound. Boom, lens flares are gone. I sometimes like to just do this with the lens flare, so I like put it to 0.1. They're still there, still annoying, but the bokeh size, I like to give it like a value of 15, and it looks kinda nice. 10, I don't know if you guys can see it, so let's do 15. It's not bad. And from the exposure, to have like consistent exposure, not let it like fix and like adjust, you need to set the mean and the max EV to like one number. Oh, and then play with the exposure compensation here, reduce it. And the reason like this is extra powerful is because right now we're using a physically accurate value on our directional sun, on our directional light, which is 75k lux. If you Google how many lux in the sun, it would be like from 75 to 120k, yeah, or 100, even 150k. It depends on the weather, but like this is the standard for the sun. Sometimes we put this on 10, and in the post-process volume we set this like to 3 or like even 2, to have like a really easy way to work with our exposure and the sun and the lights. Because if you have a value like this, let me just put this to its default value, 75,000, and you go to lights and then like you bring a spotlight, nothing happens, right? Because you need to enter the physically accurate value here. Like it should be like, I don't know, 5,000 something, even 5,000 we can. Number 10, well, simply because if you go to lights and just click and drag any directional light, usually the default value here on 10, so we just got used to it. Okay, questions time, and then we need to finish or wrap up for today. Because remember guys, I just spilled tea, I feel so bad. Alright. Yeah, Gurav, join us on Discord, ask your questions, we're more than happy to help. David Bernal, my man, hi, how do you create soft light like a cast day? That's a good question. To create soft lights, there are 2 ways. The easier way is just to use HDRI image instead of directional skylight, or you can select your directional skylight and then increase the source angle, I think, or the source, which value it was. I don't think I can replicate it here. Oof. And we may need to bake the light, but it has to do with the soft lights. Simply, the larger your light source is, the softer shadows you will get, and the smaller your light is, the harder shadows you will get. So let me add this to the lists of tutorials. How to get nice soft lighting for exterior scenes. The wind just flew away. And I will take a better look at this and answer your question about this in the upcoming live stream or video tutorials. Thank you for the question, David. That's a good one. Gurav, my man. One more doubt. If I wanted to show a scene lighting going from day to night in a single render, is it possible? Yes, it's possible. I'm not gonna say it's complicated. For example, if you have RTX enabled, you can do it easily. Like, it's extremely easy to do it with ray tracing. Or you can use this distance field shadows and dynamic lights. One great example of like doing this medieval game Quixel, there is this scene from Quixel that you can download for free. Yes, they show you how they go from like in dynamic lighting. It's not ray traced, it's like the normal what we have right now. They show you how they go from like night to stormy with like multiple weather effects like night, day and whatnot. So check this out, it's completely for free. Oh, I can't post it for some reason. Here's the video then, and you will find it here. Get the full scene, but be careful, it's like 15 gigabytes and it takes a while to open. And let me also add that to the list. So dynamic night and day cycle. But for that you won't be able to bake your lights, and this would make your ArchViz projects look like gamey. It's like kinda tricky to do it for ArchViz projects, but it's totally possible. One other way to do this is building your light, one scene built at day and the other scene built at night, and then like switch between them as a lighting scenario. One of the other nice scenes who do this, if you go to the Learn tab, this guy or this level here, pre-computed lighting scenarios it's called. So you would have like multiple light scenarios, and then you will like switch between them using blueprints. So again, open Epic Games Launcher, go to Learn and search for this pre-computed lighting scenarios, and expect a tutorial on this in the upcoming future. One more question. Hello, can you say something about foliage with RTX in Unreal? I know it's very expensive, but if you have 3080, like if you have 3080 or 3090, you should not be worried about expensive stuff. I'm just kidding. I didn't really understand your question, Bosco. Like foliage, yes, it's usually like super expensive, and like it's one of the tricky things in Unreal Engine, to especially in ArchViz projects. There is some foliage in this project, so I hope like once we get to the foliage, there are some trees here. I'm going to cover how we approach foliage in Unreal Engine. Until then, not to make the stream long, like we can continue the discussion about this on the server in Discord. And that's a great question. Foliage is like really one of the biggest problems we face in ArchViz real time. I mean, is it possible to do a lot of foliage with very good quality for exterior ArchViz? It's possible, yes. But again, like you would like need high-end computer, and you need to sacrifice stuff. Like, is the main purpose of the project showing the foliage and everything else perhaps is not as important? Or like, you know, there are still some trade-offs, but like slowly we're getting there. Hi, did you work in a virtual machine before? For pixel streaming, yes, we did, but not really experienced with virtual machines. Javier, I hope that helps. But tell me, how can we be in help? Like, again, guys, join us on Discord, and until next stream, So how do we wrap up? Should I like make the camera big and say bye bye and stuff? Harun? He will not say bye bye. Okay guys, it's been a pleasure. Like, I'm very happy we did this. Before we wrap up, let me share a screen again. I hope I answered all of your questions. Don't forget to subscribe and stuff. And right now, to support us make more tutorials and like on much faster time frame, you can visit us on Gumroad. The link is in the description. Support us make much more tutorials by getting our Unreal Engine Masterclass. Basically, we're trying to make the best class or course masterclass in architecture for Unreal Engine. Right now it's in early access and we're taking requests. So step by step, the goal is to make one place to learn everything you need to know about architecture in Unreal Engine. So if you like the stream, you like our tutorials, you can grab yourself a copy or just share our videos and stuff. Other than that, it's been a pleasure, my guys. I'm very happy that we did this. Your questions, like, here's a big list of upcoming tutorials, hopefully. I'm very thankful. Thank you for your support, for everything, and I look forward to see you guys soon. Other than that, stay healthy, stay productive.